Hello everyone, my name's Amy.
And my name's Polly.
And this is our very first episode of Managing the Mayhem, the podcast. So this podcast is all about navigating life with chronic illness because me and Polly both have a different type of autoimmune disease. We're so lucky like that. So we're hoping to create like an environment and a supportive atmosphere for anyone who's going through something similar. Our main goal is to make it fun.
Yeah.
We want it to be like a funny, uplifting, positive environment so that it's not such like a touchy topic. Do you know what I mean?
Because I think the topic of chronic illness is quite stigmatised and people don't really know what's going on.
And I think it's because there's such a lack of knowledge around it. That's why it feels like such a like, ooh.
Definitely. But yeah, we wanted to make this podcast to share advice and information about what we've got and how chronic illness affects people's day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And this is just for anyone struggling with uni or who has a chronic illness or family and friends and partners who want to get to know their loved ones better and just want to be able to support them in a better way.
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like unless you are someone with a chronic illness, it's really hard for you to understand what our day-to-day is like. So
Definitely.
Hopefully by the end of this you're going to feel like we're all one and and you're just so knowledgeable and
you know exactly what every chronic illness is.
So a little bit about us. My name is Amy and I've got Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, 2 in 1. And for any of you guys that don't know what Crohn's disease is, it's essentially an inflammatory disease that affects my bowel. So it's an inflammatory bowel disease and an autoimmune disease. So it just means that my immune system kind of it just doesn't really know what to attack. So it kind of just attacks anything and everything. So I'm like always ill all the time and I have a really weak immune system and my body just doesn't really cooperate with me very well. I get a lot of symptoms that are like abdominal pain, diarrhea, fatigue, and one of the main ones as well that I get quite often in a flare-up is ulcers. So with Crohn's, you can have it in certain parts of your body. It can be anywhere through the digestive system, like the digestive tract, I mean. And you can have it like in your mouth and your throat, and it can go all the way down your intestines to your bowel. I have it everywhere because I'm so immensely lucky that I have it the whole way through. But it can just mean certain areas for other people. But I'm special. So
how would you say Crohn's affects your daily life?
A lot. It's one of those ones where it's classed as an invisible illness, but it's also classed as a disability.
Yeah.
So I actually have my own universal key to toilets. That is the level of like, I've got one of them.
Wow.
It looks like a little Alice in Wonderland key as well. It's like a massive gold key. And I have like a card as well. So it affects me in the sense that I have a lot of bowel incontinence. I think that's the main one that people know, because there's such a stigma around Crohn's being like, oh, it's the one where you just poo a lot.
Yeah, but it's so much more than that. From what
more.
I've seen in you and like what you've told me, like it's not just that. There's so much going on.
No, there's a lot going on. It just affects my ability to function daily.
Yeah.
I think there's no other way to describe it than that. It's so like most days I wake up in quite a lot of pain, like a lot of abdominal pain, a lot of back pain. I take a lot of painkillers, codeine, paracetamol. They're my besties at the minute. And it's the type of thing where you can have a day where you feel so great and so fine and you're like, oh my gosh, it's all in my head. I'm actually like fine. And then you wake up the next day and you're floored, you're exhausted, you've got no energy, you're in pain, you just cannot do anything.
Yeah.
And it affects me in the sense of like, I think one of the big things you've noticed as well is like my eating habits.
Oh, 100%.
I never have the energy to cook myself anything at the start or the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I will go throughout the whole day and then I'll be like, Polly, I'm positively famished. And you'll be like, maybe we need to start making packed lunches. And I'm like, yeah. And I did it once.
Yeah.
I did it once the other day.
But with the effects of your energy, that must affect your mood and your mental health so much.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things, and I know one similar to when you explain what you've got, mental health is so heavily impacted with it.
Oh, 100%.
Last week, literally just last week, I was feeling so anxious, so depressed, and I was like, what am I even doing here? Like, I'm at uni, but I'm ill, and I can't, it affects, going to lectures, especially, like, freshers flu as well, flawed with that. It is one of those things where, like, you cannot be in a big group of people without feeling anxious, like you're going to catch something.
Yeah, because, I mean, you've told me before that Crohn's, you're more susceptible to getting illnesses, your immune system's lower.
I catch everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Even if I've not been in direct contact, if someone else has been, somehow I manage to catch it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very frustrating, guys, but it is one of those things where you kind of, I think mindset and mental health is such an important thing.
Yeah.
And I think if you choose to let it, like, overtake you, it does. And I think, don't get me wrong, there are definitely weeks where I'm like, oh my gosh, can't do it, like, I'm so ill. I feel like a Victorian child on a deathbed. I saw something the other day and it was like, PV, you have the immune system of a walnut. And I was like, that's me. That's me. That's me.
But you're still, like, you're here. You come to uni all the time and you're doing your lectures and your lessons and you are doing it.
Woman.
No, you are doing it, and it's amazing. And this is exactly why we wanted to make this podcast, to just show ourselves and everyone else that even though we are struggling, we're still doing it. We are. We are. And I think uni is such an adjustment for anyone, but it's even more of an adjustment for people with chronic illnesses and autoimmune diseases. And even if you think you've got it under control, something will happen.
Wait till fresh
and then
gets you.
but something, you'll go somewhere and something will happen and you'll be like, oh my god, what do I do? What's going on now? And like, now I don't feel well again. What's going on? And it can
cause
cycle.
a lot of anxiety, which you're already quite an anxious. I'm already quite an anxious person, but it can cause a lot of anxiety as well because you're in a new place. You don't have your parents, looming over you, being like, make you a cup of tea.
That support system of like going home and your dinner, you can be like, could you make me do my dinner? I don't feel well. And like, yeah, of course, or whatever. Or that support system of just being able to tell them everything you're feeling because they're your parents and they're there for you. And that's, and like whenever you move to uni, you've got to find your new support system.
Yeah, which we are really lucky because we found each other.
We have, luckily, we have. And now you guys have found us, the podcast.
Yeah, and you get to listen to us yap about it for 45 minutes. No, but it is one of those things where, as well, when you have a chronic illness, you get very good at masking how you feel.
Yes.
So, to anyone who doesn't know me that well, I think they think I'm a bit of a hyper mad woman that's kind of just like that just yaps a lot. Like, I think as well because I have ADHD, so my hyperactivity comes out in talking, which you'll realise as this goes on.
I think they've already realised.
So I think I'm very good at masking how I feel to the point of like people wouldn't think I'm ill.
Yeah, but that also links to the fact that chronic illnesses and autoimmune diseases are invisible. Yeah. You don't see, it's not like we've got an injury that you can just see and you can go, oh, they've got that. It's just, it's happening inside, and everyone's on a different, I want to say, spectrum of how they fit into their chronic illness. Like, everyone's different. Everyone has their own symptoms and way that they manage things and way that they feel when they've had things like for me, I have celiac disease. I got diagnosed about 10 months ago. And if you don't know, celiac is an autoimmune disease where it affects the gut and the small intestine, and it's when you have gluten. So whenever I eat gluten or someone with celiac disease eats gluten, it has an effect on their gut and it makes them bloated, fatigued. It can make you really ill, vomiting, diarrhea, all the lovely things. But with celiac, like, there's so many different. I think there's so many different types of celiac and the ways people can be affected by it, and how they feel. Like, when I eat gluten, I'm not throwing up and I'm okay, but
you're not.
But I'm not okay. The fatigue I get, the bloating, the mental health problems I get, the everything else. I get so affected by it. But other people, they could eat gluten and be in the hospital because they can't cope. Or it's different levels of it, but everyone's still struggling with the same thing. And that's the thing, like, if you feel like, because I know that I used to feel like I didn't have such a bad illness because I wasn't throwing up every time I ate gluten, but I still have the same struggles as Amy or as someone else with celiac. It's all the same. It's still the same mental health effects. You still can't go out with meals with your friends. You still can't do stuff. It's still the same no matter how bad you've got it, if you know what I'm trying to say. So if you're out there thinking, oh, well, I am celiac, but it doesn't affect me that badly, so I'm not really in the community of someone with an autoimmune disease. You definitely are.
You are. You definitely are. I've seen firsthand, when I first met Polly, she was completely gluten-free, and there was, like, things where you had to go back on gluten.
Yeah, which I'll come to in another episode.
Yeah, I've seen the change that it has on you and the effect that it's had on you, and it's awful. And I think it wasn't until we started having these type of conversations that we were like, we can really relate on a deep level. Even if we don't have the same illness, it's still a chronic illness.
Yeah, and
it affects us daily. And it wasn't until we were having, like, really honest conversations. Like, I'd go up to Polly and I'd be like, Polly, I feel so ill. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not coming out. I've got mad diarrhea. And she'd be like, oh, it's okay, Queen. Like, you do you. Yeah. And it wasn't until, like, I'm very much an oversharer anyway, as you guys have just heard. But but it's not until I was starting to be really honest with Polly and she was being honest with me that we were like, oh.
We're struggling with the same things, even though it's not the same cause. Yeah. It's the same effect.
Yeah, it's the same symptoms.
It's the same feelings.
It's the same feeling, and and I think it's such a nice thing to have found that support system. And that's essentially what we're trying to do here, is to create that environment for anyone else who wants to, like, I don't know, just listen to us yap about it. But, like,
for anyone who needs that support, like, if I hadn't have met Amy, I don't know what I'd have done, to be quite honest. Because it's just, like, it's definitely, like, moving to uni, it changes things so much. And we're going to get on that in a minute about how unis are, like, how we've had to adapt how we manage our chronic illnesses with uni. Yeah. But it is so, like we've just previously said, like, you lose that support system, you've got to find another one. And we're here for you. And if you've ever got any questions, any problems, we've got an Instagram and an email that we will link and tell you about at the end.
Yes.
But we're here.
And I think another thing, just from what you said as well, is obviously I know that, like, the support system of your parents and your family, if you've got that, yes, you can FaceTime, yes, you can ring them, but I do this, I don't know if you do this, I try not to worry them. So it's different in the sense of, like, I've been really struggling, but I've not been wanting to ring my mum, you know, crying and being like, Mum, because she can't. It then puts her in, like, a, you know, like, the mother hen, like, stressed of, like, oh my goodness, we're coming to get you. And I'm like, no.
You can't come and get me.
I'm like, I need to, let me
Yeah, that's the thing. We're obviously just very new adults. We both turned 18 not that long ago. Like, that's another transition though. Like, you can't go running to your parents every time you don't feel well, which is horrible. But it's the truth. It's a reality. You've got to, like, we're learning how to manage ourselves. Yeah. Now we're living by ourselves.
That's not to say don't use that support system if you've got it.
No, I don't mean like that. It's that new adjustment of being an adult and trying to be independent. Yeah. And I think chronic illnesses and autoimmune diseases they can hinder your independence because you feel like you need that support.
It's so easy to just be like, no, I'm so ill, I can't do this, I'm going home.
Yeah.
It's so easy, and I've almost done that twice, not gonna lie. But I think if you have a support system that's separate from your family.
Oh yeah.
It's such a special thing as well.
Yeah, and it's nice to have, like, a friend to be that support system. Yeah. Because family, you'll tell them everything, and they'll try and give you, like, they'll try and give you solutions and ways to make it better.
But they
don't have those, and I feel like with a friend, it's more just comforting and I'm not trying to tell you how to get better.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say, well, instead of doing that, do this. I'm not trying to give you solutions, which is not. Sometimes we don't want solutions. We just want to confide in each other.
I think as well, something that people don't realise with chronic illnesses, there isn't really solutions.
No,
like,
there's
yes,
not.
There's, you know, there's medication and there's
like
there's
for me,
diet.
it's diet. It's like for anyone who's celiac, going on a gluten-free diet obviously is how you manage it. But it is a lifelong illness, and
like, we've got to live with this for the rest of our lives. So
yeah,
I think now is the perfect time to figure out how to navigate it on our own,
definitely,
independently, because we don't have that. We have the support system with each other, but we don't have that of like at home where we can just like lean into it and like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it is so important to be able to navigate it on your own, and I think it's a really hard thing to do, and I think, yeah, it is quite a tricky thing to do. And
it is tricky. We are struggling with it right now, so I think as we go through further episodes, hopefully you'll hear and see how we're managing, how we're learning, because I think obviously for both of us, and I think for a lot of people with autoimmune diseases, the main symptom is chronic fatigue.
Yeah.
For us,
it's a lack of energy.
It's the fatigue, it's the energy, and that when you're 18 and wanting to go out and do all these things, that's what it affects.
Especially in freshers.
Oh, especially in freshers. Like, one thing that I think we've struggled with uni, and that a lot of freshers struggle with, that have got chronic illnesses, is this pressure to always be going out and drinking every night and going to all the gigs, going to everything and being able to do everything. And when you've got a chronic illness, even if you are managing your diet well and taking your medication, doing everything, you're still exhausted. You get exhausted so much quicker because your body's working harder. You do.
We tried, didn't we? The first, oh my gosh, who did we think we were? That first 2 weeks, oh my lord.
I think we had a 6-day drinking streak or something.
No, I'm not kidding. At the end of it, I think we had an 11-day streak because I actually think we did, because we kept going. I would be like, Polly would be like, oh, do you want to go to this? And I'd be like, yeah. And you know when you've got that friend and you're like, yeah, I'm not going on my own. I'm going with this person. This person's going, I'm going to go. I'm going to network. I'm going to be amazing. And then you're like, oh my goodness. And then I think there was one night we just said to each other, I rang Polly and I was like, Polly? And she was like, what? And I was like, what do you think about just like staying in? And you were like, I think you just went, oh, thank God.
I did. I definitely did.
And I came round to yours and it was like, was this during one of the freshers' fairs when I've now got my own mug at Polly's house. And I came round and I was like, Polly, do you want to just sit and have a hot chocolate and like yap? And
I was like, thank God for that. I do not want to go out again. But that's the thing, like, it's just, we both, like, we love going out. We love it.
We are so, like, extroverted in the sense we love being with people.
Oh, I love going out. I love going out for a drink with my friends. I love seeing everyone. I love dancing and going out and having fun. But the fact is, my body can't sustain it for
sorry. Sorry.
But the thing is, like, our bodies, we can't sustain that for a long time. Like, I've noticed now, I'm realising I need more sleep than normal people. I think I need at least like 10 to 12 hours a night to be really functioning. Yeah, because I think for the last couple of weeks I've not been getting that, and today I feel, oh my God, I feel so tired. Even though I'm talking, I'm just like, oh, exhausted.
I know.
But
I've still, saying all of this, I've still not eaten yet today, and I'm like, I can feel there's going to be a little grumble in the background. I can feel it.
My stomach's already grumbling, if you can hear it.
But it is that feeling of like, you know, you feel like such a grandma.
Yeah.
Because it's like, people are like, let's go out, and I'm like, oh,
I can't.
I'm like, my dream night in is sitting at home, packet of crisps, Netflix on.
Oh, that's me tonight. That's us tonight.
That's us tonight, yeah.
But
see, I think as well, I know I've yapped to you about this before, and I want to put it in now while we're talking about it. Something that I'd learned about recently is something called regenerative practices. And we are going to get onto like advice, but this is relevant to what we're talking about now. And it's the sense of like, it's different for everyone. So, you know, when people are telling you like, oh, just rest, some people's version of rejuvenating their energy, like, I figured this out, is being around specific people. Like, I don't want to just be in a group. I love being around people, but when I have no energy, there are specific people that just bring my energy back. And
Yeah.
Polly is one of those people to me.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, shucks. But she is, and I think it's because you understand.
Yeah.
I don't have to put that wall up of like, I'm so great, what's happening,
Yeah,
guys?
you don't need to be fine.
I come upstairs, I sit on your sofa and I'm like, Polly, oh my goodness.
And I go, do you want a cup of tea, love?
And I go, no. And then I go, absolutely not, but I'd love a hot chocolate. And we're so different in that sense, but it is just sitting with Polly for a few hours. Even if, like, we've had times where me, you, and some of your other flatmates will just sit for, like, 2 hours on reels, sending each other reels, absolutely pissing ourselves. And just doing that for a few hours has just, like, brought back my energy.
Yeah, and I think that's something, like, everyone should try and, well, we're going to try and give advice on that, but
Yeah.
if you just feel so exhausted and sleep isn't working and you just want a way to relax,
Yeah.
find your way, like, listen to some music and chill out.
Yeah.
Be with your friends and just scroll on reels like we did, or watch a film. Like, rest, I feel like rest, people think rest is just going to
Sleeping.
sleep.
Yeah.
But it's not. Like, I love my time on TikTok before I go to bed. Or I love,
cheeky doom
oh
scroll.
no, I love half an hour. I need it. I need half an hour just to myself.
No, that's so valid.
Like,
though.
a day, it's just that bit of time to yourself, or just doing something like watching a film. I love watching a film. Chills me right out.
I love watching a film.
I love it. It's great.
Love it.
But it's just everyone needs to find their own way, and we are going to do in further episodes proper advice episodes about how we deal with our illnesses, what to do if you
Yeah.
want to do, like at Christmas, what gluten-free things to buy that's going to be good, or stuff like
Real.
that. And we'll do some on like how to be restful and how to get yourself back.
Yeah, and also tips and tricks as well for ADHD, because I've got ADHD, and studying and being at uni with ADHD is
Yeah.
it's not for the weak.
No.
Lectures, things, and I've said this to Polly, like, I'm so sorry, but I am such a yapper when we are sat together supposed to be doing work.
Yeah.
And
Like, we're
even
gonna-
your boyfriend's been like, are you actually doing work? Or are you just talking? And we're like,
He's gone. You said you're studying, but that was 2 hours ago. Have you done anything yet?
And we're like, no.
We've just talked about stuff.
But it's because we have so much to talk about, and I've
Yeah.
said to her, like, I will sit with masking tape on my mouth, like, I will. But it's because I need that other person. I need the body doubling, which is a whole other
Yeah.
thing of, like, I need someone there with me, or I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything either way, but it's that sense of, like, we're going to come to, like, tips and tricks for that as well, and just, like,
Yeah.
general coping mechanisms.
Yeah. That's the right word.
Hashtag surviving and thriving.
So let's delve in more into how chronic illness affects uni life
Yeah.
specifically. Because obviously we're both uni students, as we've said, both do music production.
But we're in first year.
Yeah, we're in first year, so we've only just moved in September. So this is
Yeah.
all really new to us, and new to a lot of people, obviously, starting their first year as well. And I think, for me, the main thing that's been, well, there's a few main things that's been an adjustment, but one of the main things is the housemate thing in, like, the kitchen area,
of course,
specifically for
'cause
me.
No contamination.
Yeah, because one thing with celiac that I've not explained yet, but we'll go into depth about this in another episode, is cross-contamination, and the way you cook things is so important with celiac, because when you celiac, you can't just have a little bit of gluten. Even if people are like, oh, not just a little. No, because it is damaging your gut. Even if you don't have serious symptoms, it's really damaging your gut health, and it can cause a lot of health effects later in life. And you're more prone to getting things like gut cancer and all sorts of horrible other things. So when moving, I was so worried about what my house is going to be like, if they were going to use my dedicated fryer or try use my stuff, or want to, there's a lot of horror stories about people nicking each other's food and stuff like
even
that.
if
And
you have to have a separate toaster as well, which is
Yeah.
something I hadn't even thought of until you said to me.
yeah, so I've got my own toaster, air fryer. Ovens are usually fine, because I had a deep dive search before I came. I was like, what's fine, what's not. Microwaves are fine as well, but you just got to make sure everything's clean, and
Yeah.
everything's sort of, people aren't left bits of crumbs everywhere and where you're preparing your food, which is something that obviously in a uni house I was really worried about, because students aren't the cleanest. Let's say
nightmares.
kitchen nightmares. Where's the lamb sauce?
You idiot sandwich. Maybe gluten-free, so the bread's so small that it doesn't actually cover anything.
Yeah, and also one thing I was with that, people nicking your food and stuff, which is a lot of, stories about, is gluten-free food is so expensive. Newsflash, it's 4 times more expensive than normal gluten food. And it's smaller, there's not as much, it's so expensive. The cheapest loaf of bread I can get is £1.90. That's the cheapest, smallest loaf I can get.
And it's small.
And it's small and it's cardboard. No, it's not. It's not. It's not that bad. They're getting better. They are getting so much better. Even just the 10 months I've been gluten free, I can feel the difference. Taste the difference. But maybe that's me getting used to it.
Maybe.
It's but it is. But it was. Yeah. But it was something that I was so worried about because I really thought, if I don't want to have to pay more for money. Pay more for more gluten free food if people are nicking it. Yeah. But then. My flatmates have been so good. Shout out Flat 49. It's been they've been so good about it. Like I've got little gluten-free stickers on all my cupboards and all my shelves and stuff. Cause you claim your cupboards, don't you? And I thought, right, I'll just put it on. And they've all been really good about it. And one of my flatmates, I was telling them about how worried I was before I came, and they went, "Not gonna lie, Polly. If I was going to nick anyone's food, yours would be the last I'd think of because it's gluten-free. And it's hot and it's not as nice." And I thought, you know what? That's such a good point. So, so if you are gluten-free, just have that conversation with your flatmate, which can be hard, but I did it. And I was just like, look, guys, I just want to tell you, I'm celiac, so I can't do da-da-da. And most people are really good.
And I feel like it's something that needs to be done as well. Like, you can't beat around the bush about it.
No. I went straight in the first day. Hiya, how are you? Yeah, good. Right, I'm celiac. Just, no, I'm joking. No, but I was very... And actually, a lot of us, we found each other before and had a little group chat, and I put it on there even before we all met. I just said, just wanted to tell you guys I'm celiac, so I can't share utensils and stuff. Because honestly, if I wasn't celiac, I would be sharing... I don't mind sharing my pots and pans and stuff. It's fine if you ain't got it and you really need to make your dinner, that's fine, but I can't, obviously I can't. So that was something I brought up straight away. But I think also, like, flatmates, no matter what chronic illness you've got, it's hard when you don't know who you've got around you, but it's just an adjustment everyone's got to make.
Yeah, I think it is like it is tricky as well, because I feel like in the sense of, like, in my flat it's different because it's not diet as much. I mean, I have weird allergies, but it's not in the sense of, like, can't be cross-contaminated or anything like that. It's more the sense of, like, I think it was the second week I'd met one of my flatmates, and they were really, really ill, and they were, like, coughing and sneezing, and I was like, I am so sorry, and I, like, ran to the other side of the room, and it sounds like I was being so dramatic, but I was like,
no.
I really don't want to catch this. I caught it anyway.
Yeah, but that's so...
I was like, I am so sorry. I'm gonna stand by this massive window. I'll let you do your biz, and then I'll come back, because I just... The anxiety of being in close quarters, that if someone in the flat's ill, I'm immediately like, oh God, I'm going to catch it.
Yeah.
Because you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it.
You can't avoid the people you're living with.
Even if, like, you haven't actually been in contact with them.
They're still touching the fridge, touching the drawers.
And I feel like I can't be such a germ freak of, like, wiping everything down. Because then it's just like, oh. And it's also just the, like... You just live in close quarters with them, and you have to, like, accept that. And I think there's been a few times where, I've not been feeling great about it, and, like, it's kind of, all caught up to me, and I haven't even, like, properly explained to some of my flatmates. And one of my flatmates, I just went into her room and I was just having a little bit of a cry, and she was like, I don't understand, but I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. I was like, this is me every week. No. But it is a hard thing to live with. And I think not in the sense of, like, the anxiety around you've got with, like, food and things, but for me it's just I'm living with these people who are going to think I'm avoiding them all the time.
Yeah.
And I try my best not to, and I socialise in the kitchen. I'm a yapper. I love being with people, and that's what's so hard about it.
Yeah.
Because I love being with people.
Yeah, and that doesn't match.
It doesn't match
what you've got.
Yeah, it doesn't match my illness. Damn it. Should have got a different one. But
yeah, another thing I've just thought of that has been really hard for me. Well, I think a lot of people with celiac, it's hard when everyone's going out and you're having a nice night and you're getting drunk and it's great and everyone's going, let's go for a cheeky Mackey's or a cheeky kebab, and you're like, oh, I can't eat it, and it's just there's so many nights where I've just stood and watched people eat and just with my bottle of water and just gone, all right, everyone, having a nice night.
Delectable meal in front of me.
But when it's so hard. It is so hard for anyone to see that when people go to, they want to go out to restaurants and you've got to be that one that's like, I can't go, I'm so sorry, or you've got to just go and just not eat anything. And it's awful, that feeling of, because you feel left out, but you feel guilty for not being able to do it, but you can't, and it's just one of them things. But that's been so hard with me, just being starving, and you sat there watching people, and it's like, you lucky sod, but having that double cheeseburger, and I can't have it, and it's so hard. It is so hard, and I think one thing that I've been doing is making sure I have a good meal before I go out, so I'm not as hungry and I'm not as jealous.
But that also must affect the planning that you have around your day as well.
Yeah.
Because you know that you can't leave until you've eaten something because you're not going to be able to eat anything.
Yeah. I really have to plan food, as in when I'm going to eat if I'm going out. And I think that's something that a lot of celiacs and a lot of people with autoimmune disease that needs planning struggles, because I have to plan everything. I have to plan where I'm getting my food. Like I know, what I do is I'll get my gluten-free food from one shop, and then the rest of the stuff that doesn't need to necessarily be gluten-free, like beans and chopped tomatoes, from a cheaper shop. So I'm trying to keep things cheap, which is so much effort to think about. I have to go from shop to shop to try and find the cheapest option, which so many people who are celiac have to do because it is so expensive. Every shop puts a different price on things. You've got to go around and try and find the cheapest option, and which is what uni students, you have to do that because you don't have as much money to be spending. And then planning where to eat is one of the big ones. Because I've got to, obviously, before I go somewhere, check out their website, check what they've got gluten-free, because a lot of places say they have stuff gluten-free and then it's just one thing, or they can make stuff gluten-free, and I don't trust. You've got to learn how to trust places that are you go in and they say they're gluten-free but they don't have a separate fryer, or they don't have a dedicated space for gluten-free, or it's very, you've got to look at the wording and look at what they say, and that's so hard, constantly having to think about that. It must be quite. And
it must be horrible going on holiday. Actually,
I've
thought about that.
I've only been on holiday once so far.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm gonna do some advice on this and some links to some apps that I used. But actually, I went to Benidorm. Shout out Benidorm. And it was so good for gluten-free stuff.
Really?
It was so good. They had loads of. I mean,
list.
sin gluten. I learned what it was in Spanish. That was terrible pronunciation from me. But it's just I've got this app that shows me where I'm near and where. Stop laughing at me.
Sorry, it was the Spanish enunciation. She did. You can't see us because we're sat. But me and Polly talk a lot with our hands, and she did the thing where you just point your finger, and she's like sin gluten, and it just tickled me. I'm sorry.
But as I was saying, I've got this app that shows me where gluten-free restaurants are near me.
Yeah.
So, and it's got the address and and reviews from other people who are celiac. So it's really good, and that saved me on holiday. Oh my god, it saved me. It saved me because it had reviews. But honestly, one good thing about celiac that I'm gonna go to the positives now. One good thing is I've tried food that I would never have tried before.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't go on holiday. You always go for the basic, spaghetti bolognese, or do you know what I mean? I used to do. I used to go for the basic stuff because I didn't know what it was. Especially as a kid, you don't want to eat anything with flavour, really, do you? Chips and chicken nuggets. That's the vibe. But I ended up trying some really nice sort of ethnic dishes, and I was like, these are so nice. This is amazing. I tried I can't remember what it was, but so many seafood dishes and so much stuff that was gluten free, because it was like paella, like rice and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is so nice. And I would have never have had like those experiences if I wasn't gluten free.
Yeah.
Because I just picked all the like.
And I suppose that's a positive takeaway of having it. I mean, there's a lot of negatives, but there is a positive.
There's one positive.
There's one
positive. There's always positives.
Expanding your palate.
Yeah, trying new things. But actually, that's brought me on to another point. I've thought something else. Being celiac and going out drinking is a big thing.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't until you explained this to me, I didn't realise that gluten is in a lot of, like, ciders and stuff.
Well, it's in a lot of beers.
Oh, a lot of beers,
It's in any beer, really, you can't really have, because it's barley, and it's the way that with the malt, you can't have it. And actually, we're going to do another episode where I explain everything that's secretly got gluten in.
Yeah.
There's so many things I've found. It's ridiculous. Shampoo. Some shampoos have it in.
What? Why, though?
Like, why? I know. But we'll go through it, and we'll do some advice sheets and stuff like that. But, thinking about that, you've got to always think about what you're drinking, like everything. It's hard, but cider is a brilliant thing that's gluten free because it's from fruit, obviously. So if you're celiac, stick on the cider. It works. Yeah. And a lot of spirits are gluten free, but some of them actually I didn't realise have gluten in them.
Really? Like which ones?
Like I think a Smirnoff Ice I saw.
Really?
When you get it in the bottle, it sometimes can, sometimes can't, but it can. And it's like you've got to always be on the ball, like always reading the backs of things. Which every celiac knows, like you get good at that. You get good at spotting the things that have gluten in them. But I think uni, it has been an adjustment, and it still is.
Yeah. And
it is for both of us. I think you like for me, obviously it's more diet and the financial side of paying for gluten-free food and going out. But for you, it's also the going out thing. And
mine's about pacing. I think.
Pacing, yeah.
Because, I mean, you've noticed this as well, but, like, I'm technically in a period of remission, but not really. I've not been able to take any of my medication for about a month because I keep catching infectious flu and colds, and I'm not allowed to take. Obviously, it's counteractive to take immunosuppressants when your immune system's, like, already a bit compromised. And I think one of the big things is, like, that it kind of floors you.
Yeah.
And it's tricky because you want to go out and you can't. And it is one of those things where you just can't really do anything about it because it puts your body in a state of like, I keep pushing through being like, I can do this, it's okay. Like once I'm going, and then I get home and I crash.
Yeah.
But it's like there's been signs like my body's a lot weaker. And, like, signs of me going into a flare-up are kind of appearing, and I'm like, maybe I need to take a little step back.
Yeah.
Because it's like I wake up quite a lot with abdominal pain. I'm waking up. I can't open doors.
Oh, yeah.
It is a stupid thing, but it is. There was one.
Sorry.
Do you remember that time we were in the studio? The studio doors are quite heavy. Like we said, we do production.
They're really heavy, to be fair.
But. There was a time, and our seminar tutor person was like, sorry, I couldn't remember the name.
We have a session in the studios with like 4 of us where we sort of go through how to use the desk and stuff. And we were going in, and Amy went first, and she literally fell back on me. She just fell.
I had put my whole body weight in trying to open this door, and I'm so weak to the point I fell into Polly.
She
and
fell
it's
into
created
it. I had to catch her. It was like those trust exercises, trust falls. And honestly, everyone was like, why have you stopped? Because we were walking, and I'm like, hold on, she's just fallen. It's okay.
And I think they thought that I'd tripped up the ramp.
Yeah, they did.
And I was like, yeah, sorry guys. Just lost
but
my
even with the equipment we're using right now to record,
I was panicked today. Let me tell you, I was ringing Polly. I was like, Polly, can you please come and get this box because I cannot lift it off the counter.
Yeah,
and
it's just
thank goodness you arrived when you did right as he like placed them down and was like, there you go. And I was thinking, oh God, I'm gonna have to carry them and then come back for some other stuff. And I was like, oh no. And I should have just been like, oh, thanks for the room key, and then gone back and got it later. But I was like, I'm not risking it because there was a massive queue.
Yeah.
And what if someone else wanted all the podcast rig?
Yeah.
And thank God you came around the corner, and I was like, oh, I can breathe. I really don't think I would have been able to carry it to the door. I think I would have had to, like, get one of those wheelie things.
Oh, God.
It sounds like such a stupid thing, because I think if you meet me, I don't look... I mean, I look a bit weak, but I don't...
But that's the thing. We're coming back to, again, it's invisible. It's an invisible illness.
Because as well, at my accommodation, one of the big things to think about if you've got a chronic illness is energy-wise, how far away you're willing to live. Because in my head, I was like, oh, well, if I'm not well enough to go, then I'm not going to go. It doesn't matter that I live 20 minutes away. I don't know why I sounded Irish there. I went, doesn't matter. But I was like, oh, well, it won't matter. And actually, I think that walk alone takes a lot out of me every day.
That's been the biggest thing that you struggle with, to be honest. Because we all live, like me and a lot of other people, we all live about 2 or 3, it's like 3 or 4 minutes away.
It's like around the corner.
Really close. And you living 20 minutes away just means you've got to get up earlier, you've got to get ready earlier, you've got to get here. Like, there's so much more for you to do, which takes up more energy and, like, sort of contradicts what you need.
And it affects as well, like, whether I want to go out and things.
Yeah.
Because even just coming to see you guys, like, it's 20 minutes to the uni, but no, I'd say it's about 15 minutes to the uni and about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get to you, because you're past the uni.
Yeah.
So it's, like, even longer. And obviously I'm like, I want to come, like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
But once it gets dark as well, as a woman, it's not safe to walk in the dark at night, and it's quite far away, so... And it feels a bit pointless having someone to have to take me back every time. And there's always people that are willing to, and I'm so grateful for them.
Yeah.
But you don't want to put that burden on someone else.
And that makes you feel guilty. Which, again, like, coming back, like, it's not... We shouldn't have to feel guilty for asking and not being able to.
Yeah. And I think on top of it, not even just because it's, like, a girl walking at home at night, it's my... body is physically very weak.
Yeah.
And I would not be able to fight anyone off. I feel like I fear I would lie. Like the fight, flight, freeze. I fear I would just freeze and just sit down.
Yeah.
I'd just accept my fate. I'm not even gonna lie. I would accept my fate. I wouldn't. There'd be no running. I don't have the stamina for that. My cardio is the stairs. But it's like it is tricky, and I think it's. Oh, there's all these factors as well of when you're thinking about booking accommodation. It is a big
and
thing.
Thinking about actually coming to uni if you want to do it and start managing the Mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to, but you've got to think about your illness as well as what you want to do. Like I think that's one of the reasons why I actually chose Leeds, because I thought if I go to London or something. Imagine how much more expensive food's going to be down there. Like, I did consider that. I did think, oh my God, it's going to be so much more expensive down there. And there's the best course up here for what I want to do, And that's what you've got to bear in mind.
And I as well, because I originally wanted to do a performance course, but I'm a vocalist. And it's in the sense of, like, I'm ill all the time and my instrument is me. It's not like I can just power through and play guitar. It's like having a constantly broken arm and being asked to play guitar. It's like really hard. So I was like, I fear that one's not in the cards, which is in itself quite upsetting.
Of course.
But I've got my love for production, and I'm so lucky to have that in the sense that I've got that, and I do a minor in pop, which just means I just do one lesson in pop, and I get to do that, and it's quite fun. But it's all factors.
Yeah.
And it is tricky.
And going on from the fact that, like, you've not been able to do something you want, we're going to go into some further episodes, like, talking about sort of losing parts of yourself when you get diagnosed.
There's such a thing of grieving your past self.
Yeah.
I've had that so heavily.
Yeah. And, like, that, after being diagnosed, that adjustment to who you now are. Now you've got this lifelong disease that you don't know anything about, because, like, obviously, like, we're going to go on to why you got diagnosed and what that's like next episode, but it is such a tough process, and there's not much support there's not much information. From that, in the next few episodes, we're going to look at our diagnosis and how we got diagnosed and sort of how we're dealing with that you know, being 6 to 10 months in. We're going to look at sort of more advice and information on celiac disease and on Crohn's disease. We're going to have some guests who struggle with other autoimmune diseases to come and talk about what they've got, how they deal day to day. And we're really going to just go off for you guys. If you've got any questions, anything you want us to talk about, anything you think we should learn or know about, you know, get in touch with us. Our Instagram is Managing the Mayhem, the podcast, and our email is managingthemayhemthepodcast@yahoo.com. So please get in touch.
Yeah, DM us, or we'll put some polls on our story.
Definitely.
And you guys can answer. And we've got a TikTok, which I think is the same as the Instagram.
Yes, the TikTok is the same as the Instagram, so I'm sure you'll find us on there.
But we'll also, what we'll do is for every episode, if we reference a website or somewhere like, you know, like Crohn's and Colitis UK, we'll put that link into the post for that episode. So you'll be able to find any of those resources on there, and we'll make like some kind of like link tree or something that will...
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for listening to the first episode of Managing the Mayhem, the podcast.
Yes.
And please keep tuning in. We're going to try release one every week. Hopefully. Our illnesses letting us.
Might have to give us some leeway, guys.
But thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. I think we should do a game. Every time we say chronic illnesses, you've got to take a drink.
Yeah.
Because I think I must have said it about 50 times already in one episode.
No, I know.
Sorry, everyone. If you didn't already know, this is about chronic illnesses.
More importantly, autoimmune diseases.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've got. That's me.
That's me. But, yeah.